Greetings. This week on LNN, we ask if our defense force is battle ready.
I'm sure even you could fly a flying machine.
Chester interviews Trevor Manuel.
I don't think they've thrown poo at you yet, have they?
No.
And Deep Fried Man sings the morale with Dales.
I was smoking trees when Deep Fried called me on the phone. I don't know why, he can't just do it on his own, man.
Don't act surprised, South Africa. I told you last week that I was coming back to host the show. Where's that hairy guy of yours now? Huh? Just like Jacob Zuma, I know how to deal with my enemies. Speaking of Jacob Zuma, you may or may not know that not only is he the president of South Africa, he's also the leader of a group appointed by SADC to help Zimbabwe's two political parties resolve their differences. Now, with the way the ANC treat the DA, you may think it's a strange move to call Jacob Zuma to help sort out differences between political parties.
We have more rights here because we are a majority. You have lesser rights because you are a minority.
But South Africa's political differences are child's play compared to the rest of Africa. Because South Africa is not proper Africa. Zimbabwe, now that's proper Africa. Forget how great the EFF say Zimbabwe is, it is proper Africa. We are Santon and they are Hammanskraal, a place where you only go to for funerals. But before we go on with this story, I would like to ask Jacob Zuma whether being the president is a part-time or full-time job. Because with all his different jobs, it seems like he only works half days as our president. He's the chair of the nuclear tender process, chair to that Masi Bambisane project, and he's also a board member of Makumala's tuck shop. So back to Zimbabwe. The president sent one of his sidekicks, Lindiwe Zulu, to go take a look what was happening there. Then after seeing the chaos of the early elections, she had this to say.
She was quoted in media as saying South Africa was concerned about Zimbabwe's upcoming elections.
If you are wondering what I mean by early elections, let me explain. These elections are for people like the police and the army who are going to be on duty when the rest of the country votes. This is so that they will be available during the real elections to beat up people voting for the MDC. But these Zimbabwe army types couldn't even vote because there were no ballot papers and no stationery. Basically, they had elections that would make Limpopo proud. Sorry, Limpopo, but that place of yours is... Mugabe responded by saying this.
I appeal to President Zuma to stop this woman of theirs from speaking on Zimbabwe. We were given one facilitator with one mouth, and that is President Zuma himself.
And did the Zoom Zoom defend her? No, he was too busy shaking hands. What we can't understand is why can Mugabe shoot his mouth off like that and we just take it lying down? I guess the South African National Defence Force couldn't really do anything even if they wanted to. I mean, when the Minister of Defence is Nosiviwe Mapisa Ngakula, you have a better chance of acquiring an order of pork chops than a fleet of fighter jets. Last week, it was reported that 18 helicopters had been grounded because there was no money to operate them. But I guess the Minister of Donuts has a sense of humor because the week before that, she flew in a Defence Force helicopter to Tlokwe to resolve ANC business. Not government business, ANC business. But no one was using it. It was just lying around gathering dust and jay. The point is, when we do have a proper threat to national security, and I'm not talking about Lesotho invading or Steve Hofmeyr starting a political party, can our Defence Force protect us? I don't know about you, but if the day comes that we have to be led into battle by Nosiviwe, that's the day I'm going to call in sick as a South African. If the Defence Force can't handle these things, then we should outsource to other comrades. Well, not exactly comrades.
It's understood that a remote-controlled device was used to unleash a round of projectiles from this car.
As I'm walking out from the car, it was like a bomb, like a noise next to my car, which is this red car.
The red Polo was then programmed to explode after firing its rounds.
We haven't seen it before.
These underworld types are hardcore. All I'm saying is that there are remote-controlled cars in Bedfordview that can shoot bullets. With this in mind, we have a member of the Defence Force to hear from the horse's mouth about their capabilities. Tell us, General Horatio, is our Defence Force up to scratch?
It's General Spinks. I used to pinya a lot when I was younger. But anyway, that's another story. Yes, I want to say that our defense force has state-of-the-art equipment. In fact, we are some of the top countries for selling ammunition and defense capability systems. The fact that the white liberal counter-revolutionaries like yourself, in other words, coconuts, can criticize the honorable and charismatic Nosisi Viwe. I apologize, that's excess saliva there. It really frustrates me. My minister is tough, Loyiso, very tough. Do you know that she could eat you up for breakfast, lunch, and supper?
Well, I'm sure she could. But now with all the state-of-the-art aircraft and weaponry, do you guys know how to use these things? What happens if Zimbabwe tried to attack us?
We've witnessed a slow transformation in the defensive industrials and things like that. So naturally, some of us have taken longer to learn how to fly these flying machines. You see? But I mean, it's easy to fly a flying machine. I'm sure even you could fly a flying machine if you wanted to fly a flying machine. But you don't, so you can't. And then in terms of Zimbabwe, it's fair for me to assume you're a comedian and you're trying to be funny, to embarrass me on TV, but it will never happen.
What about the arms deal? What about the 26 Gripen fighter aircraft that are barely used?
You would have seen the air shows that were on display on the opening day, in the middle of the World Cup, and in the final of the L Cup. Were you not impressed with that? What did you think of the formation?
Okay, I don't want to take any more of your time, because you seem very busy. But thank you, General Sphinx. Good luck with everything.
Gabonga Luiso.
My name is Dave, General Sphinx. It's Dave.
Oh, sorry, Prakao.
Don't go anywhere. After the break, we speak to our foreign correspondent who is in Israel. Chester interviews Trevor Manuel, and Deep Fried Man sings the morale with Dalles. Find us on Twitter and Facebook and send us emails. Welcome back. We now cross over to our international correspondent, Chris Forrest, who is in Israel. Chris, how is it there?
Dave, it's fine and mild. Temperatures are expected to rise even higher by midday.
I'm not talking about the weather. How is the political situation?
Oh, yes, that. Well, Israel has agreed to release 104 Palestinian political prisoners, some of whom have been into jail for up to 30 years. This follows a bid by US Secretary of State John Kerry to have peace talks between Israel and Palestine commencing as early as next week.
Next week? Wow, that's huge. How do Israelis and Palestinians feel about this?
Well, Israelis are pretty pissed off with Netanyahu, as they feel he is releasing murderers and terrorists with the blood of hundreds of Israelis on their hands. Some cabinet ministers say they voted reluctantly for the deal, but they felt it was in the best interest of Israel. Remember, Dave, the world needs peace in the Middle East like a crackhead needs a hit.
And how do the Palestinians feel about this?
Well, Palestinians made it clear that they will not enter into any peace talks until their homies are released from prison.
Does this remind you of the time when F.W. de Klerk called for the release of all political prisoners, paving the way for the new and beautiful new South Africa?
No.
What? How does it not remind you of that? The release of apartheid prisoners is the most similar thing that has happened in recent history.
Nah, I don't see it.
Okay, what else is happening there?
What? That's not enough.
Well, you need to tell us more. Why are we paying you all this money?
No, my friend, this is a big deal. You were just comparing it to the release of Nelson Mandela. And I don't think we should overload the viewers with too much information. But if you must know, there's a rumor that Justin Bieber might be touring here next month. But you didn't hear it from me. And also, 90% of viewers polled said they prefer Loyiso Gola.
What? Which viewers? You can't trust these surveys. Well, that was a complete shambles, but luckily, from my time in the field, I have many relations in the Global Foreign Correspondents Network. So let's do this again. I'm really sorry, South Africa. We now cross over to our foreign correspondent, Mr. Joseph Opio, from my homeland of Uganda. Joseph, how is it there?
Kampala is sweet, Dave. People are happy here, the economy is booming, and the internet is very, very fast. People are literally watching Game of Thrones as it comes on in America.
But what about the fact that the opposition parties and civil society movements are calling for President Museveni's impeachment? Surely things can't be that good.
Things are great here, Dave. Those people are just jealous of President Museveni because he has been in power for 27 years. How many other people can say that they have won the popular vote for the last 27 years?
I can see what's happening here. You're scared of the authorities because you know that if you speak ill of the president, you might get detained or deported. If I'm right, just wink. We will know. Just wink.
No need to wink, Dave. Uganda is a free country, a brilliant democracy. I even wonder, why did you leave, Dave? Foreign correspondents operate freely here. The only people that we persecute are the gays. So if you're a gay foreign correspondent, then you might end up screwed. All pun intended. Oh, by the way, they tell me that politicians your side can't keep their pants up. So how is it there, Dave?
These correspondents are So while we've been paying attention to Limpopo, all this time the province that gave us taxi drivers thought that we would not notice them doing some Limpopo-type things. No, not sending lightning to deal with their enemies. I mean, as far as we know, the president has not lightninged anyone. He just reshuffles. We mean they've been destroying textbooks. KZN MEC for Education, Senzo Mqunu, says that he will report back to the Minister of Basic Education on the reasons why the textbooks were destroyed. No need to wait, Mr. Mqunu. I know exactly why. Although I doubt that's what you'll tell the minister. The reason starts with a C and ends with a corruption. Now, we hear that so-called forces of change are also rearing their heads in KwaZulu-Natal. No, not those forces of change. They've been dealt with. Apparently, the president's supporters are unhappy with their new deputy, Cyril Ramaphosa. Word on the street is that the comrades in KZN are sidelining Cyril in the next elections because he is too independent. The feeling is that if you ask Cyril, "Hey Cyril, would you send Jacob to court to face his charges?" He would say, wrong answer, bruh Cyril. The correct answer is never. He will never go to court. Now come on, KwaZulu-Natal. We don't really feel sorry for a person whose buffaloes eat better than you. But has the point of government in South Africa become solely about keeping Bra Jacob out of jail? I think we have bigger problems than that. Like for instance, KZN member of the provincial legislature, Sipho Nkosi, knows what is truly plaguing our society. Mr. Nkosi thinks that politicians are not getting enough free tickets to gigs in his province. What? Tell them, Mr. Nkosi.
You are given these tickets, but you only share them with your friends and forget about us. We do all the hard work here in Parliament, but when it is time for relaxation, we are sidelined, which is not right. People take their families to Hazelmere to party, but when we get there, we are blocked. When you are given 30 tickets, half of them should be given to us. Each and every portfolio committee member must get a ticket.
Yeah, nah. I guess when the going gets tough, the tough go partying. Lord help us. I wish I could have been a fly on the wall when the tickets were being handed out in one of those ticket giveaway meetings.
The attitude towards the event ticketing is very laissez-faire. If I get concert tickets as a gift, I have to declare them. But when I say that event tickets are given to the department should be distributed fairly and properly, I become the butt of ridicule. Now, this is double standards. I think it was God who said, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Okay, maybe it wasn't God who said it, but I imagine it was somebody very important and knowledgeable. And I agree with that person because we work hard in this department. We're in arts and culture, but we don't get exposed to arts and culture because certain individuals are hogging tickets. They are treating these tickets as their own. Personal fiefdom.
Malulek, where are those R. Kelly tickets? Do I look stupid to you? I know for a fact that there were many Golden Circle tickets that were issued for this particular event. Come on, man. You see, this is tantamount to corruption. No, man. Heads will roll. People think they can just take a ticket that is meant for me and just give it to their girlfriends. We hold these positions for a reason. So now we urge the people to declare all tickets for every event. It doesn't matter if it's a boring show where they play classical music or it's my favorite medical practitioner, Dr. Malinga. We have to declare everything so that they can be properly and fairly distributed. Okay, we've got 2 tickets for this thing that is called Nathaniel. It is safe to assume that
Magdalene wants those because she likes white people things. Here you go, Maggie. Second one, everybody knows here. Bishop Mtetwa is going to be in Guamashu this coming weekend. Everybody knows who needs those ones here. Malulek, these are for you, my boy. There you go. Lulu, you need Jesus in your life, my boy. And lastly, there are Trevor Manuel tickets. Trevisto. No. Many, miny, mo. Those ones are coming to me, my boy. Yeah? Thank you. Trevisto. Me. We find that this system works very well. Last month alone, I increased my attendance to these things by 67%. I am now what you call a man about town. Yeah? Gone are the days where you'll find a peasant waiting at the door of a place being told that their name is not on the list. Never again. Yeah?
Don't go anywhere. After the break, Chester interviews Trevor Manuel and Deep Fried Man sings the morale with Dalez. Find us on Twitter and Facebook and send us emails and letters. Welcome back. This week, Chester Missing spoke to Trevor Manuel. Let's see what Uncle Trev had to say.
I am talking now to previous Minister of Finance, current Minister within the presidency, struggle hero, and Jimmy Money's favorite uncle. It's Trevor Manuel. How's it going, man?
Very cool, Chester. How are you doing?
I'm well. I'm very excited to be talking to you. What's the biggest difference between the ANC of today and the ANC of 15 years ago?
I think that the big challenge is we tend to become complacent. We've been doing this thing for a long time.
Because, I mean, it does look like you guys were for change back then, and these new guys just want beer, bucks, and booty, you know? Take you to the candy shop, those guys. I mean, how are you going to create that change in the ANC?
Do you get in at ZAR?
Did you ever get into ZAR?
Never. I'm afraid who I might bump into there, so I don't want to embarrass the rest
One of your own guys. The question I really want to know is, how the hell does Martinus van Schalkwyk keep making it into government? You know he's a gnat, right?
There are no gnats. There never were gnats. Did you ever
were never
meet?
gnats.
No, Chester. I know that Loyiso Gola once said that the new mayor of Tlokwe voted no in the referendum, but she would deny it. Everybody would deny ever having voted.
You see, this guy came to Late Night News with his own gags. Are you on Facebook?
No.
Is there no Facebook in the Planning Commission?
No, there's only Twitter.
Do you tweet?
No, the problem about tweeting is people lose their minds. There's a particular premier I know. I mean, I don't want to mention him or her by name, but they tweet and they call people refugees and stuff.
Oh my gosh, he's having a Helen Zella dig. I can't believe. Well, I don't think they've thrown poo at you yet, have they?
No.
Why haven't you made those money-grabbing, apartheid-collaborating, bastard capitalist companies account for their involvement in apartheid?
The TRC didn't take this issue far enough. And you need an outside agency because some of us were too angry at the time. We'd take crazy decisions.
That must have been very hard to deal with, your anger and tolerating. Some people think you sold out a little bit. I mean, do you think so or not?
You know, if we had been able to overthrow the apartheid regime, drive into Pretoria, Church Street on the back of tanks, we would have claimed victory in a particular way. We didn't have it. We negotiated. And so, you know, like any negotiation, I mean, if AMCU now can negotiate and get a 120% increase in wages, you know, so if they get 100%, are they going to be angry? Would they have sold out?
I don't know.
Oh
my God, you see how he spun that? This guy's a genius. You should be named Samsung because you're like a washing machine. So much spin. Who are we going to go to if the National Development Plan doesn't work out? Can we come to you?
No. What I don't have is the copyright. We want all South Africans to own it. Let's implement plans.
Well, like NDP wants safe, reliable public transport. Will we all be getting access to blue light vehicles to pick up our basic income grants?
Perhaps then I'll get blue lights. I haven't had them in.
You've never had blue lights?
Never.
You just do it on your own. What if you get kidnapped? You might be taken by Swaziland and be forced to marry King Mswati. We don't know.
That's a worst kind of risk.
The absolute worst case.
Being married to King Mswati
But
is
what
the
if you
worst.
But I mean, you might get hijacked by a gang and be forced to be one of their people.
No, never.
Don't you support the gang? I think Mampela Rampela has got some good things she said.
I mean, saying good things is easier. How are you going to implement it?
But that's why you got the MP and National Development Plan, isn't it?
I know that Mampela will support a lot of the NDP, which is okay.
Okay, no, that's fair. I mean, even the DA supports it. That's kind of the problem, isn't it? That your own guys are busy telling you that you've basically just given us the DA in black, green, and yellow.
You know, just because Helen Zille and I agree that Loyiso Gola has a big eyebrows, it doesn't make it wrong. Just because we agree on
Just
stuff.
because we both agree that the fart smells like a fart doesn't mean it's a bad fart.
Absolutely.
Okay, fair enough. You and Thabo Mbeki have been called to testify at the Arms Deal Commission. Are you nervous?
No, there's no wrongdoing. Somebody's got to explain, and I think an opportunity to explain how decisions were taken is an important issue. I hope that Terry Crawford Brown will listen this time when we take our time and
Doesn't
explain.
he listen?
He doesn't normally listen. He only listens to things in his head.
Oh my gosh, well then you must identify with him. You are a cabinet minister. Thank you, Trevor Manuel. You're awesome. Thanks for having a sense of humor. Now go get a day job.
And now for the Morale Index with Deep Fried Man. Take it away, Fried One.
The season is on its last legs like cope, and I wanted to end this in a style of hope. But what's in store next time, I can't tell you that. Other than the fact that Loyiso will be back, it's unpredictable. Unlike elections in Zimbabwe, don't know about you, but my money's on Mugabe. But other than that, predictions are impossible. Zuma's still #1 and Madiba's still in hospital. And Radovan Krejcir is dodging bullets like I nearly died. I'm struggling to find some good news, I really tried, but sometimes I get scared to turn on the news. All these cover-ups and spy tapes and now Vavi stands accused. It's enough to make you stressed, which is the best reason to turn the TV off, at least till next season. But before we go, you're probably wondering what Deleuze is doing here.
And my agent told me that it would be good for my career. I got better things to do than rhyme on this track. Chilling with this dude here who can't even rap. I was smoking trees when D-Fry called me on the phone. I don't know why, he can't just do it on his own, man. It's unprofessional, 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 so unprofessional, 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 unprofessional. It's so unprofessional.
Sorry, dude.
And that's it for this week. Find us on Twitter and Facebook and send us emails. See you next season. Goodbye.
News that moves. ENCA.com.